What's good, everyone? I just have a quick word of encouragement for you all. There's actually a shower thought. I had this thought when I was in the shower. Just thinking about the current climate of our world, of our culture, like with like this election coming up, the stuff with like Diddy, and then like the wrongful execution of Marcus Marcel, stuff that's happening in Gaza, all the things. Um, Something that like the Holy Spirit reminded me is that evil has a time limit and righteousness prevails forever. And so that was encouraging to me because it's like, listen, evil is running rampant because it knows that like it has an expiration date. There's only like its time is coming to an end soon. And so of course like things are gonna get really bad and it's gonna be like crazy because evil knows like our time is coming. It's gonna be over soon. Um and the verse that came to mind when I was thinking about this is John chapter 16, verse 33, which I'm sure, we're all very familiar with if you are a Christ follower and, familiar with the Bible. This is for context, like this is right before Jesus' betrayal, and he's handed over, to the Roman Empire to be crucified. He's talking to his disciples, and he says in verse 33, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. You will have suffering in this world. Be courageous. I have conquered the world. Again, this is the Christian Standard Bible like version, but you've probably heard it said like, take heart for I've overcome the world is like the most common way that you've probably heard it said. But the reason why this is encouraging is because like Jesus tells us up front, listen, like you will experience suffering. Like there's no way around that. Like that's going to happen. But just know that like I have overcome it. Like, well, in this context, he's in the process of going to overcome it. Like he's getting ready to go to the cross to like overcome it all. And so yeah, it's encouraging because regardless of who ends up in the White House in this election, regardless of what happens with the Diddy stuff and all this other stuff, like Christ rules sovereign over it all. Like that is what for me like is encouraging because like I like when we put our trust and faith in man, we see what happens. It never ends well. It never ends well. And it's been like that since the beginning of time. And so we have to remember that like again, like when we put our trust and faith in God, like things are going to be okay. And again, it's hard when we're in the present moment of like things are just really bad right now and I don't see how it's ever gonna get better. Like putting your trust and faith in God kind of alleviates that pressure and like the weight that we feel of the world. Again in Matthew, Jesus says, come to me all who burden and weary, take my yoke upon thee, for like my burden is easy and it's light. Like Jesus knows the weight and the heaviness of this world. He experienced it firsthand. He knows that we will be burdened down by everything that's going on around us, whether personally or just like by just living, which is why he's like, come to me and I will give you rest. So yeah, I will get off my soapbox now, but that's just what I wanted to share this morning. I just felt it really just drop into my spirit, and I'm really hoping that again, as the world continues to be crazy and wild and weird and all these things, like I hope that we remembered where to put our trust and faith. And yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Bye.